So let us find out what's unfolding right now here in price action of Bitcoin, and also where we might be possibly heading for the medium short term and even for the upcoming day. I am going to talk about all of these scenarios one by one. So please guys, please, before I jump into the content, destroy that like button, and also for those individuals watching to the first time, hit the subscribe button and the bell. Now looking at this in a daily time frame, you know I like to keep things simple. If you simply monitor this price movement of Bitcoin, you can see the price of Bitcoin looks like it could be forming this so-called a double top type of formation. And in the past price action, when we formed a very similar looking formation here, what happened with price action? Once we broke the neckline, we started showing a reversal, because according to this double top price objective, once the neckline got broken, we started hitting it to the downside, came exactly at the price objective before turning bullish. And this is very similar kind of movement what we are also making right now. I mean, a double top type of formation, price showing some weakness, and also could be getting attracted towards the neckline area. And we know if this neckline also gets broken, then in the medium short term, the price of Bitcoin could be heading towards the price objective from this double top, which is going to be somewhere between 25,500 to 26,000 range. Yes guys, this here will be looked as our upcoming price target once the neckline around 27,000 gets broken, because we know it's not just only the price action, even the indicators here to the downside. If we look at this MACD is clearly forming bearish crossover, and in the past price action you can see in a daily time frame, whenever we have seen this kind of bearish crossover, what has the price of Bitcoin done? The price of Bitcoin has showed a reversal. You can see each and every time whenever we had this bearish crossover, after that the price of Bitcoin has showed some weakness and also a potential reversal. So in our case, this is also a bearish crossover. Price is forming a very similar looking type of formation, a double top with a potential price objective around 25,500 to 26,000 range, and even the RSI here is forming a bearish divergence. While the price is forming higher highs, RSI is clearly forming lower highs, and this also indicates bearish momentum for the medium short term. So that's why we have to be careful, because we can see the neckline support is around 27,000, and breaking that means the price of Bitcoin could go lower, because it's not just only this one example which is pointing us the price in the medium short term could show weakness, but also the Wyckoff's reaccumulation schematic one, because yesterday I made you guys very clear in the medium short term there might be some range bound, but just like I've shown you in an example, since we are between this phase B and phase C, right, what could be playing out here? Let me show you guys properly. You can see if we do see further range bound, this lower trend line is where we could be heading. The phase C, just like I've shown you in an example, consolidate, find support, and then start with a new mark of phase like this. So that's why any sort of a retracement, as long as we remain about 25,000 in a bigger picture, this will be looked as a temporary retracement. And we know guys, it's not just only the reaccumulation phase from Wyckoff pointing us a potential reversal to the downside, even the double top. But if you have been following me for a while, you know this ascending channel scenario is also pointing us, hey, we have to be careful, because in the medium short term, this lower trend line is where we could be getting gravitated before price again starts showing some bullishness. But for the medium short term, this lower trend line is where we are expecting the price of Bitcoin to get gravitated before choosing or before showing any sort of a bullishness, because we know in the past price action, losing the support from this rising trend line has led to a pullback towards this lower trend line, and we have also lost the support. I was very clear. The same line which previously acted as a support could be acting as a resistance, and you can see the price, it got rejected and then started showing this bearishness. So for now, this lower trend line around 27,000 is definitely going to be looked as our upcoming target for Bitcoin, but it doesn't mean the price has to show a movement here like this, guys. Please keep this in mind. We could be seeing some more range bound, even some bullish movement, but slowly getting gravitated towards this lower trend line. And we know beside this example, even if we look at this price structure using rounding top. Last time when we talked about the rounding top, I think it was way too early, right? We were talking about a trend reversal here, which failed, but we still need to be careful, because if we simply take a horizontal trend line and place it here, we can see very, very clearly, guys, the upper line from this horizontal trend line is acting as a strong line of resistance, right? Lower line is acting as a strong line of support. And now if we add this curve line, you can see, guys, this curve along with the upper line from this parallel channel and the lower line is playing a very important role. Resistance, 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 right? You can see each and every time we approach around the upper line and this curve line, we got rejected. So in the medium short term, we have to be careful, because the price after some range bound could still be heading towards the lower trend line, the neckline from this curve or double top, or even the rounding top. So that's why, guys, that's why this neckline around 27,000 must be monitored very, very closely, because losing that means the price in our case could be heading towards this lower trend line, and also could be heading towards the price opportunity from this double top. But in the medium short term, things looks a bit different. I mean, if you look at the price structure here in an hourly time frame, now if we look at this in an hourly time frame, you can see, guys, the price of Bitcoin is showing a bit different story. I mean, we can see the upper line here was a very strong line of resistance, and lower line acted as a strong line of support. So this is definitely a bullish broadening wedge. I mean, a descending broadening wedge is normally considered bullish, but in our case, we have to be careful. Even if this is going to be a move like this, right? Price coming across 28,200, 28,400, we still have to be careful, because unless the price breaks out of this resistance from rounding top, resistance from this horizontal trend line, this could be just a fake out. I mean, this price movement could be a fake out, and price after that could start a reversal here in this manner towards the lower trend line before, right, before turning bullish like this. That's why, guys, the Wyckoff's reaccumulation phase would make a lot of sense. This Wyckoff's reaccumulation phase would make a lot of sense. This double top formation would make a lot of sense, and even the rounding top would make a lot of sense. So a potential reversal to the downside is expected for the medium short term, but we also know any sort of a retracement first towards this 27,000, the neckline from this rounding top, right? The neckline area from this rounding top, the neckline from this double top, and now we can see this is also the support from the broadening top. Yes, the upper line around 27,000, which previously acted as the resistance, will be considered as a support for the medium short term. So in the medium short term, if the price remains above 27,000, then we could be looking at this formation as a descending broadening wedge, and this upper line from this broadening wedge is where we could be getting attracted, 28,400, 28,450 range. But getting rejection on that area, we have to be careful, because it could lead to a bigger price retracement towards the lower trend line. So let's hope for the best. Let's hope in the medium short term 27,000 support remains, and price also break this 28,400 resistance line. But we also have to keep this in mind, guys. I have been clear about this CPI indicator. Since the price is choosing a trend duration without touching any of the CPI line, it is still considered as a VCPR, and VCPR attracts the price first before choosing a trend duration. So that's why I still want you guys to be careful. Since this is a VCPR, first there could be a reversal, a potential reversal towards the CPI line before price chooses a trend duration. So that's why, guys, looking into different scenarios, looking into different time frame, everything is pointing us in the medium short term there could be some shakeout, and only after that we could start a new impulsive movement. And even if we look at this using ascending triangle is considered bullish, but we are expecting a very similar move to happen, just like I shown in an example, fake break to the downside before turning bullish. And in our case, if that is going to happen, then we know this 27,000 area is where we could be hitting, and even around 25,500 to 26,000 range, and then only turning bullish here in this manner. So these were some of the quick update that I wanted to share with you in today's video. If you enjoyed my work, then please guys, please destroy that like button, and for those individuals watching the first time, hit the subscribe button and the bell. Now by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye.